Hi everybody, in this video it's part 4 of the Unification of Science. We're going to look at the standard model of particle physics. It doesn't make any sense. The periodic table, sequential, all in order, everything just as it should be. But as Roger Penrose says about the standard model, it's just ad hoc. I can't see why it means anything. There is a clue though. 3 pairs of quarks and 3 pairs of leptons. But nothing else makes any sense. So we need to rearrange the bits of it into a pattern that makes sense. All the bits are correct. We know that. But the pattern it's sat in has no meaning. So we need a blueprint. We're going to get that from video number 1, in which we unified the foundations of classical physics. We unified gravitational bodies and fields with magnetic bodies and fields and electrical bodies and fields. Suddenly, we've got 2 patterns. 1, a related pair, electromagnetism and a unique partner. That shows up right at the base of the universe, where you've just got hydrogen. But you've got a related pair of up quarks working with a down quark. That's not enough to go on. You need a lot more examples. Well, they're coming up. Now, a related pair and a unique partner. And the numbers 2 and 3, because they are the first 2 prime numbers. And in the last video, video number 3, we could see that at base the universe is a mathematical structure. So you would expect the structure of the universe, the units that build it, would come in prime numbers. And they do. But the way you've got the standard model arranged at the minute, you can't see it. Now, I'm just going to prove to you that the universe is a mathematical structure. When we write books like that, how can we not see all these patterns that make up nature, starting with stars and elements? All these patterns cannot be there unless nature uses the mathematics that makes the patterns. The patterns are not in any physics book, but they're in physical matter. So wake up. We live in a mathematical structure. Now, let's get back to the standard model. I'm going to read you something by Frank Close, who wrote the book The New Cosmic Onion. And he says on page 105, there is a profound parallel between quantum electrodynamics and quantum chromodynamics. But in the current standard model, you can see no parallel. So what I did, using a unique pair and a related pair working with a unique partner, was to arrange it like this. There we are. And you can see QED and QCD in parallel. And everything else is related pairs and unique partners. Now there are 3 units which need to go together. And they are the only 3 units of energy. I don't like to use the word particle because it infers a tiny dot of substance, and there is none. There are 3 units of energy which can exist all by themselves. Quarks can't. They've got to be inside a proton or a neutron. Things like muons disappear as soon as you make them. So it's very important to look at the electron, the neutrino, and the photon. What's special about them? Well, I've got the same pattern, two fermions related and a boson. But those three units of energy are what switch the universe on, because they make stars light up. Before you can make helium, the first element made inside a star, you have to make deuterium. So you've got to switch a proton into a neutron, which has two down quarks and an up quark, same pattern. And you spit out, when you do that, a positron, which carries away from the proton 1 unit of electrical charge, because it's antimatter electron, and neutrinos. So without neutrinos, you can't switch stars on. And then you've got to make tritium. And when you make tritium, it spits out gamma rays, electromagnetic radiation, photons. So the photon, the electron, and the neutrino need to go together. And there's another pattern. If I look at quantum wave theory, I've got electron waves, electron microscopes, a single wave. Electromagnetic wave, a pair, telescopes and microscopes. And there must be a triplet wave. And there is. The neutrino waves. Electron, muon, and tau neutrinos. It all fits. So now we've got a standard model which is internally consistent, all based on the first two prime numbers, and it's externally consistent with the periodic table, which is all built from 3 different units, a related pair, and a unique partner. You can work out what they are for yourself. So now we've got a standard model that makes sense, a periodic table that makes sense, and we're going to use the same related pair and triplet to build a model of nature that goes all the way through the solar system, chemistry, biology, genetics. You might know about codons and anticodons. Now, they come in the same pattern as quarks and leptons. It's the same matter in the same universe, so don't dismiss it. And then we're going to look at the Industrial Revolution based on pairs and triplets. Because to make all the precision engineering, first you need a perfectly flat surface. So how do you get that from prime numbers? It's called a 3-plate method. Plate A, B and C. And you rub plate A and B together, B and C, C and A. 3 pairs give you a perfectly flat surface. What about the information age? Is that based on pairs and triplets? You can work that out for yourself. If you'd like a copy of the new standard model, and it's not the final form, I'm sure we're going to change it, but now we've got it making sense, we've got a blueprint, we can move on. So if you want a copy, just leave your email in the comments and I'll send out the first 10 for free. See you next time when we do the solar system, biology and chemistry, pairs and triplets.